in most countries of the world constitute a significant percentage of the population. It's no wonder the United Nations came up with a special day to celebrate and focus on the affairs of the youth. Now, since the declaration of August 12 as International Youth Day by the same body in the year 1999, the attention of the youth has not waned a bit. With this year's theme, Safe Space for Youth, the attention clearly is on creating the enabling environment that will propel youth to pursue their dreams. And here in Nigeria, the youth have been agitating for inclusiveness in all spheres of the Nigerian developmental ladder. And the side cries of youth marginalization seem to be getting louder by the day. And this brings us to the question of why Nigerian youth feel marginalized. Are the youth the cause of their own present situation in the societal development? How can the Nigerian system empower the youth to take the role of shaping their own future squarely? These and many more questions will be addressed on the program today. This is Nigeria Today, and my name is Blessing Abu. Now, to discuss the issue at hand in details, we have two guests. I would like to welcome Mr. Olushade Adeshola. He's the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Sport Development. Sir, welcome to the program.
Good evening, Nigeria.
Also on the program this evening is Bello Bala Shagari. He's the President, National Youth Council of Nigeria. Mr. Shagari, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now let's congratulate the youth. We, the youth, let's congratulate ourselves, including PAMSEC. PAMSEC, too. We have been in the ministry. That shows that you have the youth at heart and everything is working in that direction. Now, for a day like this, or a season like this, where youth have to be celebrated all over for the resilience and for creating safer space, how have you been able to harness that which you have on our hands as energy, great results? PAMSEC?
Thank you very much. I will start by discussing on the importance of this day to us, particularly in Nigeria. I recall the current DG of National Population Commission at the 51st session of the Commission on National Population that he attended disclosed the Nigeria population as 198 million. And it has also been estimated that 60% of this population are in the youth age bracket. 60% of 198 translates to 115 million. This is a very large population. No nation can afford to ignore this population and just allow it to pass by. So within this context, the safe space for youth is a very appropriate theme, and it only aligns with the concern of governments of most countries, including Nigeria, on the need to mainstream the youth and to ensure greater inclusivity of the youth in national affairs.
All right, let's move to Shagari. Despite the number, how would you rate the performance? How have the youth fared in using this large number to their own advantage?
Well, I think the young people of this country have shown a lot of progress over the years, especially with the Not Too Young to Run bill. You know, the passage of the Not Too Young to Run bill is a testimony that the young people of this country can actually make something happen. I told them that it's an inspiration, not just for Nigerian youth, but for youth all over the world. Because for the first time, the young people that by themselves came up with a need, a demand from the government. They followed it up and they ensured that it was it happened. You know, it got passed, and as a result, there is a major development in our political space. So as such, I think young people in Nigeria have fared well, and they are still faring well because they are excelling in so many other areas such as entertainment, film industry, and the tech world, the business world, entrepreneurship, and so many other areas. So I believe that our young people have fared well.
So for you, for a theme that has been chosen for this year's celebration to mark the International Youth Day, creating a safer safe space for the youth, how imperative is it for Nigerian youth at this time around There have always been clamors here and there.
Yes.
We appreciate the fact that the Not Too Young to Run bill has scaled through. There are still some other cries for marginalization and stuff like that.
Yes, I think this is a thing that we will get through gradually. You know, Nigeria is a developing country. We won't deny the fact that things happen gradually. We don't expect that as a developing country everything comes at once. So I believe it's a step. We have taken one step. We are going to take another. And my emergence as the president of the Youth Council is also another achievement.
In what way?
An achievement because for a very long time the council hasn't been doing what it's supposed to do. Unfortunately, it has had so many crises. It didn't get so much attention from the government. But now, after many years, this government has made sure that the Youth Council has come back. You know, there was crisis, and now...
I know part of the crisis was as if we had several splinter groups.
Yes.
And you people were not forging with a common front.
Yes.
So what gives us the assurance now that it's a common voice that we're going to be hearing from now on?
Because it's a different leadership entirely. I think for the first time, now we have a leadership that was not imposed by the government. In the past times, what brings all those kind of crises is because the government actually imposes leadership. People have interest. But for the first time, I am not imposed by anybody, not supported by anyone. I just came on board and I sold my ideas to Nigerians, young Nigerians, and they bought it. Okay. And what I commend them for that, because for the first time, you know, money wasn't playing a role, and we are showing a language. We are speaking a language of change, that something has changed in the way we think.
Let me still push further before let's say Permanent Secretary come on again. You came in now as a leader, at least to address the concerns of the youth. What are those greatest concerns you think North, West, East, and South is a common problem for Nigerian youth, and you are actually giving them that kind of leadership that it will take to better such?
Lack of unity and belonging. So most of the time, the young people of this country feel that they are different from one another. People come from North, West, East, and South. They think they have allowed the culture of distrust to transcend to them. It is natural that we expect that it will happen from the beginning, but we in this generation cannot afford to see ourselves as different people. So first of all, we need to unite and work with one another without those barriers. Secondly, we need to also tidy our own house. For instance, the Youth Council, you're a young person, for instance, and you want to get into government, but yet you have a constituency called the Youth Council, and it is shattered. So I believe if we can get ourselves together, put our own home together, there's nothing we cannot achieve, and that is one of the things that I want us to do. Okay.
All right, back to Permanent Secretary. Now, let's ride on this popular saying that think not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And Nigerian youth really interpreting this saying effectively. Let's use the Sports Youth Development Ministry. What exactly is being mapped out? This is just one of the bodies of youth that's spread across the country. So how are you forging ahead in the ministry to see to what the youth really need and how you can achieve that for them?
Yes, thank you so much. Before talking on that, let me identify some of the spaces that we're even talking for the youth, that we are promoting. We have the civic spaces, which he had emphasized on. This is in the area of governance. Yeah. And in this area, there are two major programs that the ministry is promoting, that is championing the cause of the youth. We have the National Youth Parliament. Okay. This National Youth Parliament is a training program to build the capacities of Nigerian youth in leadership program. And the objective is, when we build their capacity through hands-on practical training, ascending to the next class will not be difficult for them. Where I am delighted to mention that the program is yielding great dividends, because
when was this program?
It's a 2-year training internship program, as it is. The last group finished their program at about December last year. The next group is coming on board.
Time something like that is
no, it's about, it has up to 4 or 5 batches have been trained. Okay. Yes, so the next batch is coming on board any moment from now. What really interrupted the process is a lot of sporting activities this year. Okay. So this is also another area
so
we
you have civic space, you have national youth parliament.
Yes.
What else?
Now we also have the physical spaces that we are providing for them. In these physical spaces, we have the sports, entertainment, and relaxation. For instance, to us in the ministry, this year is a great sporting year. We started the year with the Commonwealth Games in April. in which more than 98 athletes participated in the event. Now, when we were departing for the game, the Honorable Minister Barrister Solomon Seka Abdalong said, winning medal is not the main goal of this, but let us expose our youth to the outside world. Let them interact with their colleagues there. Let them go and achieve. When some of them have not had the opportunity of participating at such levels before, but that exposure made it possible for them to know that really I can do this. And those talents that were identified there that have been nurtured, some of them are now engaged in various
So at this just at the federal level activity, or is spread across the nation?
Oh, it's spread across the nation. You cannot participate in the Commonwealth just at the federal. You must have belonged to one association, sporting association, or the other. From there, graduate to the sporting federation. And sporting federations will now.
So who does this recruitment, or who does this sporting, these talents, wherever? How is it being done?
You know,
so it won't be just maybe for some elitist group?
No, sport is an item in the concurrent legislative list. Concurrent means both the state and the federal share the responsibility. So at the state level, we have sport associations.
Okay,
so these sport associations are encouraged to promote grassroots sport development. And from there progress to zonal level.
So what other program do you have apart from sports? You already mentioned sports, youth parliaments, bringing them.
We also have the skill in the economic space. We have skill acquisition program and entrepreneurship. In 2017, we trained, in the military alone, we trained 650 youths and empowered them. Not just that they were trained alone, but they were given empowerment that will enable them to start up their own business. We are taking this initiative further by linking them up to formal financial institutions where they'll be able now to expand the seed capital we are giving them. In that wise, the limited resources of government can be multiplied. I am delighted to also mention that quite a number of them are doing fine.
Okay. I know, pump sector, for relevant skills, of course, lack of it continues to be, pose a great challenge to today's youth. And if we must look out for the jobs of the future, well, they tell you the future is even here already. We'll see youth doing great things. Just some 2-3 days ago, we have some young girls from a school in Anambra State giving us that's a pride of place in the United States of America, beating some at least well-developed countries. That shows something still needs to be done to fill out such gap. How are we closing in to put in some of those kind of innovations and such kind of skills in place? Well, let's start from before we see what the ministry is doing.
Well, like the theme of this year is safe spaces. I think we need to provide those safe spaces. You know, Nigerian youth are very creative, very energetic, very resilient. But unfortunately, if a safe space is not provided for them, those talents go to waste.
What is challenging the safe spaces?
Well, an enabling environment. You know, the young people of this country need an enabling environment.
So who is to provide such?
Of course, the government, but not just the government, because so many times we depend so much on what the government can do. You understand? We have private organizations that have responsibilities to also work hard in complementing what the government is doing. There's so much dependence on government. That's why there's so much heavy load on what the government should do. That's why we are lagging behind on that aspect. So
is your organization looking at changing such narrative through the various youth bodies, not just those who have come under the umbrella, because I don't know how many of the young people have come under your own umbrella aside other ones that we've been hearing about?
Yes, for instance, because one of my the things that I have used to campaign, you know, some people, when I was telling them, they thought I was just daydreaming. We want to establish a national youth center. A national youth center that encompasses all of the aspects of the young people's life. Places where innovations can be unveiled, you know, talented people will explore their talents, and then we'll mentor them and so on, give them opportunity to unleash their talents to the highest, to the highest
level.
So by providing those kind of environments, for instance, youth centers all over the country where young people can go and interact I think it's one of the ways that we can solve that kind of problem.
All right, Mr. Adeshola, before I let you come in, I wanted to hold on to your thoughts. We actually went out on the street to feel the pulse of the public, what they think about youth development and every aspect as we celebrate this great day. What are the things the youth are doing wrong and how it could be corrected through your ministry as well as some other program? We'll find out more when we come back from this break. You're watching Nigeria Today, and our focus is on the Nigerian youth. And in commemoration of the International Youth Day as declared by the United Nations, let's go to the street briefly.
You have to be supporting the leaders in any way we can, and we also expect support in return. You know, many youths, I'm seeing even my mates, they are creative, but they don't have support. Sometimes our dreams will die due to lack of support. So when we support the leaders, we need support in return.
I want government to emphasize on the youth empowerment. Like the scheme government is initiating now currently, which is Empower, ITF skills acquisitions, among others. So government should emphasize on, should monitor them well so that the youths will benefit with those kind of scheme.
The Not Too Young to Run bill that's just passed, I think is a good direction by the government. And I believe if governments can give youth chance, to showcase their talents, I believe youth can take Nigerian to next level.
As a youth, I just want the government to give us chance to show our ability as a youth. You understand? At least we've done a lot for our older ones, the politicians and all that. So just give us a chance. At least we can do something and prove ourselves.
This government should create more opportunity jobs for us and give us chance to try our own best so that they can see what youth can contribute to help this country. Keeping us aside as if we are not good enough or we are not yet qualified won't help at all.
Yes, you have the cross-section of Nigerians there sharing their views on the Nigerian youth and the way forward, really. It's so dampening in spirits when you think you've done enough and nobody seems to be recognizing you. Yes, Mr. Adeshola, you were about saying some things, at least in relation to what I asked Shagari just now.
Yes, I just want to emphasize the importance of the restoration of the National Youth Council of Nigeria. To put it in a proper context, before the assumption of office of the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport Development in 2015, the Youth Council has been in redesigned. And with what outcome? Anytime there are programs, global programs, for which youth should participate, oftentimes the requests are channeled to the National Youth Council. Bring your youth association, your youth organization to represent. When we look at it in the ministry, with about 6 contending presidencies, whom shall we invite? So we will look at it, nobody is qualified to go. So they have really lost a lot. Therefore, the Honorable Minister took it as a major project that this crisis must be resolved.
So now that is resolved,
yes.
How do we close ranks?
Yes.
With all the different association of youth now coming under this body of umbrella, how do we close ranks in addressing those greatest challenges that you think we've lost or we've missed as opportunities?
Yes, one thing we want to embark on is greater awareness and sensitization on the existence and the responsibilities. We want the leaders to know that they are there to serve the people and to reach out to the youth organizations at the state level, at the local government level, and just as I said, to promote activities that we emphasize inclusion so that they can assess the benefit of that government have for persons in their bracket. We also want to ensure that before we have adults masquerading as youth, leading youth associations.
60, 65,
exactly.
70 years old.
But now we have youth leading youth. So it's a different ballgame entirely because it is he that wears the shoes that know where it's hot more. So they are in charge, and they will be able to advise their colleagues in a better way.
Okay, let's take a look at this. I know they've already started working on it. That's a National Youth Policy Bill. Where is it now?
Yes.
What state is it?
Just want to not to bear the cat. Now, this week, I am very optimistic that the bill will be before the council for consideration and approval. A lot of work went into it, and I'm able to say that when it is approved, it will really support the work of the youth.
So, is it youth designing youth policy? Or
adult designing youth policy.
Shagari, tell us about what we know, because it's binding on every young person.
Of course, it predated his presidency.
Oh, so, well,
yes.
That is why it should be a continuous policy.
Yeah, I'm aware that the youth are part of the making of the policy. You know, it's always expected that they will be consulted with and then work with in the to ensure that it has solved our problems, because we know our problems.
Has it?
Yes.
Did you look into it critically alongside your executives?
We did, and it doesn't matter. We feel that it's something that we
can... It matters.
You know what I'm saying is, it's something that if we are not comfortable with, you can make sure that it changes. Because one of the objectives of the Youth Council is to help government in policy creation and implementation. So, you know, it's been reviewed. It has been there for a while. It's been reviewed, to my knowledge, now twice. Okay. You know, this is the third time. Okay. And if we are not comfortable, we will also complain that it will be reviewed as well.
Okay.
Yes, Presenter, I must add this.
Okay.
The review made this time is in-depth and broad-based. The youth were consulted several times. And when we also had a validation meeting that involved the youth, not only in Abuja, but was conducted at zonal level.
Okay, I know you say you don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but what key area do you think will gladden Nigerian youth by the time this policy comes out?
Yes, the policy addressed all the spaces mentioned in this year's International Youth Day. But particularly, we felt that youth affairs should be conducted by youth. And therefore, youth activities is pegged to the youth. Government will emphasize inclusion through participation in decision making. In fact, one of the outcomes is the immediate benefit is the youth not too young to run the law. Beside that, we also have programs designed for capacity building for youth. Okay. And the emphasis now will be on youth in the age bracket of 15 to 29, because we believe that even after this age, they still have a lot to offer.
Okay, talking about what's more to offer, before we run up the program this evening, aspect of security is still one key area. And we know as the political space is getting more activities, youth mostly are found to be used as idle hands for the very wrong reasons, thuggery, violence, and all the likes. And if we're still talking about safe spaces, that should include security as well. Youth Council?
Well, young people, unfortunately, have allowed themselves to be used as political tools.
So address them now.
Yes, causing violence and so on. You understand? And it's not, I will not blame them completely. You understand? There's something that has led to that. You know, idleness, joblessness, and so on. But like I said, it's not only the responsibility of the government. The young people themselves have to stand up and do something for themselves. Like you said, Jeff Kennedy rightly said, ask not what you can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. You know, when I graduated, I didn't go looking for a government job. I could do so, but I didn't because I know what was going on. I decided to run into entrepreneurship. People are afraid of starting their own businesses. You know, I don't know why they should be afraid. You know, you can run a business.
Kind of disadvantaged, whatever environment they found themselves. So but maybe such the council should start addressing.
Yeah, even though it's not, we don't have a very good enabling environment, but we have to stand up to those challenges. Okay. We cannot just stand back and depend on government to provide jobs for us everywhere. It cannot happen. It has never happened before. So I believe the young people have to start being independent, because if they are not independent, they will always have a price. And that price, that's what leads them to being used as political tools.
Last word, PS?
Yes, the Not Too Young to Run bill has provided a good space for the youth in the political arena. Therefore, we call on the youth, don't stop being used as thugs. Nobody wants you as thugs, but be an actor there if that is your desire. And also, take advantage of the various employment programs that government have provided. We have the national social and investment program that is providing under the Empower, providing employment opportunity. We have the NDE. NDE also have a lot of training programs.
So all these programs, they should channel the energy
and acquire a capacity and go include yourself, strive to become financially literate so that you can access financial benefit.
All right, so I'll also close it as a sum of this with the words from President when he signed the Not Too Young to Run bill. Your energy, your intelligence and talents are what will drive and develop Nigeria long after their peers have gone.
Exactly.
I'd like to thank you so much, Mr. Olushade Adeshola, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Sport Development. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
Also, Bello Balashagari, President, National Youth Council of Nigeria. We appreciate your insights in the program today. Well, this is how far we can go on the program today. We want to appreciate every one of you too for watching. Tune in tomorrow again, 7:30 in the evening. And also, make sure that you do something productive for yourself. Well, you can watch this edition of the program or other edition at all at www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. My name is Blessing Abu. See you next time.